What's up guys, Sean here, and today I'm going to do a video on sharpening this 15V Spyderco Manix 2 lightweight. First thing I'm going to do before we get started is partially tape off this blade to protect it from getting scratched up from the clamp, and it'll also partially protect it from any metal particles, steel particles scratching the finish of the blade while sharpening. So what I'm going to use is this masking tape right here. I'll show you how I do that real quick. Just going to take out a little piece like this. You want it long enough to go across the blade. We're going to go across diagonal. And you don't want to cover up where you're going to actually sharpen. So probably going to end up looking something like this. That gives us enough room to get into the choil right here and sharpen that fully. And it should be covered where I'm actually clamping. So that should be good. Just going to press down using my fingernail to seal it up good along the ricasso. Make sure get a good little seal right there. Then just flatten that out. Then you're going to do the same thing on the other side. All right. Get a good seal right there. Good seal right there. Boom. All right. Gonna take a pair of scissors, cut off this excess right here hanging over, just like so. Then you can kind of fold that over, keep it out of the way. All right, and then last thing, take off another piece, and we're going to tape down right here so this does not flip up while we're sharpening. Okay, so there you go. Now that we have that all done, we are going to clamp it up. So lay it in here. Gonna snug it down just a little bit, roughly where I think it's gonna go. Okay, then we're going to make sure the stone lines up with the ricasso. So let me shift the camera. Okay, so as you can see, the handle needs to come back towards me to bring that parallel with the stone. So make sure, let's see, loosen this up just a hair, loosen this up a hair. Okay, we got it parallel. Snug this down right there. All right, so that is perfectly parallel. All right, snug this one down. All right, and then we're gonna flip the blade over and make sure it is parallel on the opposite side. And as long as it is, then you know everything is clamped down nice and even and you're good to go. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to flip this back over and snug it down just a little bit more. Once you have that tight, then you can come up and you're gonna give that like a little quarter turn, a little bit more, and that's really gonna lock it in place. So the next thing we're gonna do is mark this edge with the Sharpie. And then we are gonna set our angle. I already have this stone thickness compensator compensated for these stones because these are the only stones I use. And we're going to go ahead, zero out the level. See where we're at. All right, right now we're at 15.5. Factory edge is probably 17. So we are going to drop it down a little bit, but nothing crazy. I actually have sharpened this 15V as low as like 12 degrees per side, and it does great. But this one I'm just going to stay kind of close to the factory angle just for the sake of time. So we are at 16 degrees per side. Now I can go ahead and start making my passes. I'm going to add a little drop of mineral oil onto here. I like using that on my diamond stones and CBN stones, really any stones. Mineral oil does great, doesn't dry up like water, and you don't have to worry about it causing any corrosion. So make our first little passes across here and see where we're at. Shouldn't have a ton of reprofiling to do because this is pretty close to the factory angle. All right, let's take a closer look. Yeah, pretty much reprofiled aside from by the ricasso right here. So it's going to take just a little bit of reprofiling to get this edge sharpened all the way to the end, but that won't be an issue. And I'm going to go ahead and flip it over and do the same thing. I don't like spending too long on one side, especially from the start. You definitely want to see where you're at from both sides before spending too long reprofiling one side or the other, because that can get you into trouble. All right. Yeah, not bad at all. Just a little bit towards the tip and towards the heel, which is pretty much what I expect. So, gonna work on that a little bit. Now, just remember when you're reprofiling and you have these areas that need a little bit more work, you still want to keep the stone moving across the entire blade. You don't want to sit in one spot grinding away for too long, because you will end up with flat spots. It'll fuck up the profile of the blade, and it'll make it more difficult than it needs to be. So you still want to be working that edge across the entire blade. You can spend a little bit more time, emphasize a couple extra strokes in that one spot, but you still want to be working it out, blending it into the rest of the edge, as you can see right here. See how it's coming. All right, so we're getting there. A little bit more and we'll be there. You can see starting to hit that back all the way up against the heel, and then there's just that little low spot right there, or high spot, whatever way it is. But yeah, we'll get that. Gonna do the same thing over here. Just remember, keep the stone moving, not spending too much time on one side or the other. Remember, your aim is to get this edge completely symmetrical from heel to tip and from side to side. So you want to be visually inspecting it along the way and make sure you are heading towards your goal and not away from your goal. So you're going to take a mental picture of what your edge bevel is looking at or looking like on this side. And then when you go to flip it, you're going to be comparing that against this side and make sure one side is not getting larger than the other. And if one side is larger than the other, then you need to spend more time on the opposite side. Look at that, coming together, just like I told you. Just keep working it, flip side to side. Oh, just got a little shiver. Still gotta get that tip a little bit, but as you guys can see, she coming along. Alright guys, so I just finished working out this edge on my first stone. Let's take a closer look. See, I got that tip. Entire edge is sharpened. Flip her over. Entire edge is sharpened, even and symmetrical. Bada bing, bada boom. Now I'm going to switch from the F100, which was my reprofiling stone. This is actually a Veneve double-sided CBN stone. So on this side is F100, on the back side it's F240. So all I gotta do is flip this bad boy over after I give it a quick little cleaning. And then I'm gonna go through the paces on the F240, which is gonna be quick and easy because all the heavy lifting is done. This edge is completely reprofiled. So I'm just gonna be refining the scratch pattern and the edge essentially, and deburring towards the end of that. And I might just stick with that, leave it as a, you know, a more coarse working edge. I have a lot of other 15V knives. Well, my other two personal 15V knives currently have polished edges, so might go with like an aggressive coarse edge on this one. But yeah, anyways, I don't really see much of a point of dragging this video out too much longer. Really, that's the most important stuff, is what I already showed you guys. The following steps after this are all a cakewalk. The foundation is everything. You're not going to get a good sharp edge without a good foundation. So you want to make sure you're fully reprofiling. Make sure you're getting a burr across this entire edge. Get it worked out all nice and as pretty as you want it and symmetrical to your liking. And yeah, take it from there. You guys can do it. I have faith in you. And yeah, so I hope this was helpful. Thank you all for watching. I love you guys. Jesus loves you. Stay tuned, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.